Well, spring, it feels over, but it is still bee season. And chances are you have dealt with large swarms of bees taking over. And if you haven't, chances are you will. Well, Scott the Bee Man to the rescue. He is here to help. This is Scott Yeager. He is the Bee Man, and he can remove your bees, and the best part, without killing them. You got my attention. So what's the difference between you and an exterminator?
Yeah, an exterminator will come in and essentially eliminate the hive, kill the hive, leaving it to rot, essentially right where it was at. I actually will remove the bees, remove the honey, remove the comb, take all the babies, take all of that out, and relocate them into a managed beehive box. And take them to the bee yard and let them do what they're supposed to do.
What they're supposed to do, which of course is produce honey.
Right.
Now, is bee season really, we're still in it,
Yeah,
right?
we're right in the throes of it. We've got about 2 more months of early spring, of early bee season, and we have in Arizona, our weather is so favorable that we have 2 bee seasons in Arizona. We'll have another one in September, October.
Okay, so it'll amp up again, so we need to pay close attention. How do we know as a homeowner that we have a bee problem?
Yeah, generally it's pretty apparent. They'll ding you in the head, they'll sting you, or you'll see them. Some cases the bees will actually nest up into a high location or inaccessible location. You may not see them until it's too late. A lot of times we'll get a call that somebody says they notice dead bees on their windowsill. If you have 1 bee, maybe it flew in the door. If you have 2, you definitely have a problem.
You definitely have a problem. You said one homeowner thought they had only been there, what, a few weeks, a few months, and you said no.
Yeah, that's very common. I just did one on Friday of this last week. They thought they'd been there for about 6 months. They had been there more like 5 years.
Oh, wow. Was that frightening? Huge. I mean, that would frighten me to know that here I am living in my home each and every day with my family, my children, and there's bees in my attic. I mean, look, this is the video. This is some of the video. Tell us about this particular homeowner.
Yeah, so this particular homeowner noticed a bee on the windowsill in the upstairs office and didn't think anything of it. And then they repeated that sequence several times over the next week. They noticed multiple bees. They never even realized they had a hive in the attic other than the 2 or 3 bees that showed up on the windowsill.
This is unbelievable. How many times have you been stung?
Yeah, I get stung today.
Okay,
I get stung pretty regularly.
So every time you go out, you say you get stung hundreds of times in some cases.
Pretty much. Fortunately, it's not the full effect of the stinger because I am wearing a protective suit.
Right.
But they still sting.
And it's not just a hat. You wear a full suit here in Arizona.
That's
from
correct.
Head to toe, you're fully covered. Once you remove the bees, will they come back?
New bees will not be as inclined to come back as they would if they were exterminated. As I said, when they're exterminated, they're left there to rot. That smell attracts bees for the rest of your life. They will always want to come back.
So how do you do it differently?
Yeah, so once everything is removed, the bees are less apt to come back because there's not an existing hive that's there. Once the hive is removed, we exclude the area from future bees coming back in, and that should take care of the problem.
Get rid of the queen and all the babies.
Correct.
Why is it so important to you, Scott, to keep these honeybees alive?
Yeah, obviously there's a negative impact on our environment for killing the bees. But even more importantly, as a homeowner, or as important for a homeowner, the results are disastrous if you exterminate the hives. It's it's almost the equivalent of throwing a 20-pound dog in your attic to let it dry out and rot. Because it is the same effect. When they're killed, everything just stays right in the attic. All of the babies, all of the brood.
And where do you
the queen,
take them?
Well, when I remove them, I actually rehive them into a bee box, and they go to our bee yard.
And then he does this. He produces honey, and I have to
if
say,
they produce it,
well,
I
that's true.
It.
You don't produce it, but I will tell you this: it is absolutely, and I shared this with you. I got a jar of your honey last week. I have to tell you, it's the best honey I've ever tasted.
Okay,
why is that? It was so creamy, and so I gave a spoonful to everyone in my family.
Yeah,
delicious.
Yeah, I think we've been so commercialized we've forgotten what real honey tastes like.
Yeah, that's so it's live bee honey.
Yeah, there's nothing added, there's nothing removed. We filter out the wax, and that's the result.
And I know this is a passion for you. I mean, you keep, how many bees do you have? You ever given yourself
we have a lot of
count?
bees. Yeah, we have a lot of bees.
Wow, a lot of bees.
And that number changes.
And you can't really commercialize this because it sells so quickly, right?
That's correct. Yeah, our honey sells out before it's actually produced.
And as a homeowner, I know that homeowners must share with you how special it is to know, yes, they're getting rid of the problem, because beehives can be dangerous.
No question about it. And the longer the hive remains, the more dangerous the situation becomes. As a good productive queen is going to lay 1,000 to 1,500 eggs per day. That's 1,000 to 1,500 new bees being born every day. And you let that go on for 2 or 3 months, and you have a significant situation on your hands.
Right, it could get destructive.
And that's really when it becomes dangerous.
And of course, homeowners are appreciative that you keep them alive and of course do what they're supposed to do.
Well, homeowners should be appreciative that they don't have honey leaking out of their surround sound system when I leave.
That's true. We'll take it.
Leaves,
we'll take it. Well, Scott, you're incredible.
Yeah,
Fascinating. Thank you so much. Here's a special offer. Sonoran Living viewers, you will receive $50 off bee removal with Scott the Bee Man. He services Maricopa and Pima counties. Call 480-710-5637 or visit scottthebeeman.com.